So, welcome to Your Always Radio. This is me and my mom. And this video is called Her Sad Story of Being Abused as a Child. Hey, Mom,
What?
it's on.
Oh, hi.
Now, tell your story, Mom, about what happened to you.
Okay, so we live in a crazy world, and I was part of it.
Yeah.
I'm an angel from heaven, actually. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Maybe I am. No, I was a baby, and then my mom tried to abort me with a hanger when I was in her womb. Blood was gushing out of her, and my dad stopped her because the blood was gushing under the door. Back in the day in the 60s, I was born in 66, when you weren't wanted because she was already married to another man with other kids, and my dad was married to another woman with other kids, and they had an affair. So I was an unwanted child. So back then, when they didn't go to an abortion clinic, they just did it themselves with hangers.
Yeah.
And my mom did that, tried to abort me with a hanger when I was in her womb, and my dad broke the bathroom door down and stopped her and said, "You're not going to kill one of my children." So here I am at 54 and trying to be happy even though my life is hell still, but okay.
Yeah, if her dad didn't do that, I wouldn't be here.
And my dad left my mom because they were never married. He went back to his wife, and my mom died when I was 5 from drinking. He couldn't handle her drunkenness all the time, so he left when I was 4 months old. I shouldn't say I got stuck with my grandma. I wanted to be with my grandma, but I also wanted to be with my mom and dad. But I couldn't because of my mom.
It bears to be on camera, so
My mom was always drunk, so my grandma mostly took care of me in the big white house that she owned. My mom was in and out of there, not very much. Up until I was 5, I only have 7 memories of her. She had tried to kill my grandma when she was drunk. She had her on the floor with a knife up to her neck, and I witnessed that. She tried to kill herself by the stove, put the gas on to kill herself, and she already had marks on her wrists from slicing her wrists up to kill herself, and I saw that. I saw my grandma Mertz Foster's son, who was maybe 18, 19, to try to stop her from putting the stove on to kill herself. I witnessed that. I witnessed her being too drunk to even be with us. She was passed out on the couch. Another time she took me bowling, which was a nice time, but I spilled my orange pop and I got yelled at. So and that's about 4 memories now? There's only 3 others. I remember her laying upstairs in the bedroom, and I went in to say, hey, I didn't even know that she was my mom. And I said, hey, and she says, "Don't call me hey, it's for horses." And I remember swallowing those little chiclet gums, those little different colored chiclet gums in front of her, and she goes, "Don't do that." Another time she was in an apartment in Minneapolis, and I went to go see her right before she died. She just was laying on the bed, and that's all the memories I have of my mom. Mostly of my grandma Mert. She was a good Lutheran woman and took care of me till I was 5, and she died when I was 5 too. My dad was out of the picture because he left when I was 4 months old. So then after my grandma and my mom died when I was 5, my grandma was having a heart attack actually when I was 5 in front of me. I ran to the neighbors and they said, "No, your grandma's not having a heart attack." I said, "Yes, she is. She's holding her heart. She says it hurts." And she had enough strength to call my cousin Sharon, who was a nurse at the time, and they brought her to the hospital, and she died 4 days later in the hospital. So then I got passed down to my mom's sister, Aunt Minerva, in Excelsior, Minnesota for my kindergarten year. She got sick with breast cancer, so I had to leave her after kindergarten and move in with her daughter, Sharon Walton, who lived in 3 Points, at the end of 3 Points in Mountain, Minnesota on Lake Minnetonka. She was married to an alcoholic. She was an alcoholic. All they do was fight and drink all the time, and I got sent to my room and got beat up by my cousin, Troy, who died now a few years ago from cancer. He beat me up so bad that I had bruises up and down my arms all the time from age 6 to 10. Punched me in the stomach a few times, couldn't breathe. It was not fun. I was crying all the time, and Sharon and Jim...
She gets a little emotional about this stuff, too.
Sharon and Jim would never come and help because they were busy getting drunk and fighting together. Then they split up when I was 10, and the night they split up, he had like a knife in his boot, and he was about to slice her up because she wanted to go to a Christmas party, and he didn't want her to go. He was all drunk. And I got to witness him taking the knife out and slashing our tires on the Continental Mark IV we had. I was scared. I was really scared. I was only 10 years old. We went to the neighbors, Connie Zarka's and Joe Zarka, and then we went to the Christmas party anyway. Jeannie Rocha, who was living with an all-star wrestler, Bo Belinsky, in Spring Park. So we moved in with them. We got a house across town on Gumwood Road in Mound. And then my cousin Sharon dated Moose Morawski, an all-star wrestler, and King Kong Mosca, an all-star wrestler. And they were very big and tall, and I was always scared of them. I'd shake when I'd eat in front of them because they were so big. I was only 11 years old. Well, anyways, she broke up with them and got back with Jim, the one we left when I was 10, when he took the knife out of his boot. They got back together when I was 12. And I witnessed a lot of fighting going on, so I tried to stay over at the Gumwood house, not on the lake house with them, because they were fighting and drinking. And every time she'd come back home to me at the other house, she'd beat me up when she was drunk because things weren't working out with her husband, Jim Walton. So I'd get hit really violently in the face by her from age 12 to 15. Then he beat me up twice when I was 15. I ran away, went to my neighbor's 2 doors down. The police came. Oh, they chased me down, and my cousin Sharon beat me up at my friend O'Coy's house right in front of them, and it was horrific. I had to try to run away, trip over the table in front of them to get away from them. The police were called. I got taken out of the home. I got put in. I got to live with the police officer that came. I stayed with his ex-wife and daughter in a really nice house. Because the house that I lived with my cousins on Lake Minnetonka, it was unfinished. It was unfinished inside, and it was always plastic and insulation everywhere. It was really it would have been a nice house if it got finished. But so when I went to the ex-husband's wife's house, the cop that took me there, I was like, "Oh, you guys have such a beautiful house!" And they gave me chicken dinner, and I got to talk and be in the room with the cop's daughter, and I felt so safe. Then they took me to the runaway youth place in Minneapolis, and then I got sent to Sister Kinney Institute, and my cousin Sharon and Jim told lies about me and said I was a prostitute, and I had never slept with a man, ever, when I was 15. And they tried to cover up for the abuse they did to me, so they said I was a prostitute and that I had slept with Jim, and I'd never done that, her husband, and I was so hurt. I was in that Sister Kinney Institute for a month, and I was crouching in the corner of my room and crying because the doctor put on my problem list that I was seductive, and I was not, because of the lies that Sharon told that I was a prostitute. So then I got to choose 10 people I wanted to live with, which was my best friend Sheila and a few other people in my family. Well, my cousin Michael Matheson had me live with his in-laws in Delano, Minnesota for my 10th grade year. And it was very quiet. I had to do I was used to being taking care of myself at the Gumwood house and running around with my friends all the time, going swimming at Dutch Lake and going swimming over at the lake house and doing whatever I wanted. So it was kind of whoa, I have to stay home and watch movies with Helen and play Chinese checkers every night. It was kind of boring.
Yeah, 2 minutes left.
Okay, so then what happened is my cousin Sharon must have been calling Helen and telling her lies about me, because that's when I found out about her telling everyone that I was a prostitute when I was young and I wasn't, and about that I had slept with Jim Walton, her husband, and I hadn't. And her husband didn't know how to give me a hug or any attention, so he would kick me and punch me in the arm just to, I don't know, be mean, I guess, maybe. Well, one night I was real crabby, and when you're 15, I'd never raised my voice in 10 months to either of them, and I raised my voice when he was picking on me real bad one night, and he was hitting me in the back of the legs besides hitting me in the arms. And I said, "Knock it off, Warren." And she came running down the hallway and beat the living crap out of me and said, your cousin Mom was right about you. And I got taken out of the home. I had a black eye from her. I cried all night. She said, "Oh, you better wash your face so you're not puffy in the morning." I got sent to a Monticello, it was a colonial mansion. So Ed and, I forgot her name now.
1 minute.
Ed Doran. Ed Doran is the dad. I remember him. I stayed there 2 weeks.